Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have another video for you in the British line. It's the Tier 7 heavy tank, the Black Prince. Now the Black Prince is a very interesting tank. We're going to have a look at the tech spec in some detail. We will use blitzhanger.com for that, which is a great asset which all blitzers should be using. I'm actually a patron of that site. It's a really great asset, and it's free of charge, so you should use it when researching a tank. Now, this also is a video in the premium tank giveaway. We're giving away a premium tank. Competition is free to enter. In the videos, there's been 2 codes already, 2 code words. There's another one coming, so there's 3 in all. You collect the 3 code words and you simply email them to me. I'll give you the email address in a second. And then you'll be entered in a draw on the 24th of April, and then you can get any of the tanks for sale in the shop on the 24th of April, as long as they're for sale for gold or for cash, so it excludes tanks that may be in crates. And this video is a recap of the first 2 codes, so if you've missed them before, you get a chance to see them in this video. And here's the email address. It's very simple. It's armouredpants, all one word, @gmail.com. 73 code words, you get entered in the draw, and you may be lucky and get pulled in as the winner. Last time we gave away an AMX Premier prototype, MX30 Premier prototype, Tier 9 medium. Now, with the Black Prince, there's a new provision in there, sandbag armor. So I want to take a time out. Let's have a look at this. Sandbag armor basically gives you additional hit points, right? And there's 2 types. There's a standard sandbag armor and enhanced sandbag armor, and they add 44 hit points and 87 hit points respectively. So that sounds like a good deal, right? But is it really? Well, I don't use it, and there's for this reason. If you use additional provisions and you get 1 extra pen, it's 160 plus hit points. If you get 1 extra bounce, well, at Tier 7, if you're up against Tier 8, that can be anything from 150 to 400 hit points. Or if you're lucky enough to bounce a Borsig, 600 plus. So basic mathematics suggests that running a different type of provision is better. So therefore I run Black Tea to max out the DPM, and I use improved fuel and pudding and tea. They're the provisions I run in this tank. Just my opinion, but of course you're free to disagree. Now there are 2 gun options here. They're both 76.2mm or 77 as they're described in game. The top gun has better DPM, and getting the top gun is important here because of the penetration, because you're up against Tier 7s, Tier 8 heavies. 171mm of pen with AP, which goes up to 180 if you use calibrated shells, and that's going to do 160 200 damage points. APCR gives you 239mm of pen, which goes up to 251mm if you use calibrated shells. HE has very low pen, it's 20 and 22 respectively, so you're not going to pen much with that. AP is my standard loadout here. I load up a lot of APCR and a small amount of HE because of its low pen. Now the reload is 3.25 seconds if you use gun rammer, and 3.5 seconds use calibrated shells, so it's still really fast even if you use calibrated shells. So if you want to take that extra pen in this tank, because that's such a fast reload, it is a decent option. Personally, I run gun rammer because I like to fire as often as possible. Muzzle velocity is low in this tank, it's 884 meters per second. Therefore, use supercharge, get that up to 1149 meters per second. APCR are faster shells, muzzle velocity is higher. It's 1437 meters per second with supercharge. And you should be using supercharge if you're in a heavy tank. Dispersion with refined gun is low, it's 0.289 meters. What does that mean? Well, it means when a target is 100 meters away, the maximum that you can miss, the maximum deviation from the center of your aiming pixel is 0.289 meters or 28.9 centimeters, so it's pretty good. That's your maximum deviation. It has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty okay for a heavy tank, and 20 in elevation, so it has good gun alignment. Gun alignment is of course the ease with which you can align your barrel with the enemy targets, and the gun alignment of this tank is good. Now, here's one of the key things about it. It's a slow tank. It only does 20 kilometers an hour and 12 in reverse. Now, it has a decent power to weight ratio, but that doesn't really affect the tank's agility. Normally it does, but it doesn't matter how fast you get up to 20 kilometers per hour. You're only going to do 20 kilometers per hour, so this tank is not agile. It does have great traverse though. It's a great brawler, which is a surprise to many people that don't play this tank. They think that this is a big, slow, cumbersome tank, which it is, but they don't realise that its power to weight ratio and its good traverse makes it a very good brawler. Its armour and its DPM and its reload make it an even better brawler. Its concealment numbers are poor. It's 271 meters view range while it's moving, so therefore you're going to get spotted early. Why? Because you're so slow, you're going to be still moving into position when light tanks and medium tanks from the other team are going into spotting position and are going to spot you up. They only need to get within 271 meters to spot you up while you're moving, so you're going to get spotted up early. So be aware of that when you're moving off from spawn at the start of the game. Now this tank's armor is troll. Even if you're up tiered, it's still trollish, but if you're top tier, this thing can bully all day long. It is a top tier bully. It's an amazing brawler. It doesn't really have any weak points. It's kind of like a rock monster. It doesn't have any weak points. Obviously at the back and it's got lighter armor, so if something gets in behind you, you can be penned. But when front on and at the sides, you're going to bounce shots. If you know how to side scrape, if you know how to angle, then you are going to get steel wall medals in this tank all day long. If you don't know how to side scrape or angle, then I would ask you to look at the heavy tank guide that we have here on channel. It gives those skills in detail, explains how to do them, what they are and how to do them. Now, looking here, even when you're up tiered, this tank is going to bounce shells, but against your own tier and against tier 6, this tank is going to bounce all day long. In terms of tactics, this is a tank which you can go front on, especially if it is top tier. The one thing about this tank you need to realize is that it is a brilliant tank if you are engaging the enemy, but if you are not, you can't get to engage them because it's so slow. You are limited to a certain pocket of the map. You're not going to get around the map, so therefore the opening 30 seconds, your decision making in those opening seconds of the game, where you go, is going to determine whether you have a good game or not. If you go the wrong way, make a poor choice, and you're not where the enemy is, you're so slow, you're not going to get a chance to get around the map and engage them. That's one of the big limitations of this game, of this tank. Now we're going to have a look at a game where I do get to engage the enemy, and this is a 6.5k net damage game. In a tier 7, just think about that. If you did that in a tier 10, that would probably get you a second or first class badge, maybe even a mastery badge. This is in a tier 7 game. It's unbelievable, and this is a great example of what this tank is good at. So firstly, check the setup. I check the map as well, and I decide, look, I am going to go to B because it's the best chance of me engaging the enemy. I know that my tank is slow. If I go to A or go to C and the enemy go the other way, I'm not going to get a chance to engage. I'm not going to get out. The game is going to pass me by. If I go to B, I have a good chance of being able to engage them using my DPM and using my armor, do some damage. And what you're going to see here is an absolute melee where I get attacked by almost every red, almost at the same time. And not only do I survive, but I end up bouncing so many shots, doing so much damage, that I actually do, as I said, 6.5k damage. You see there, bounce from the Tiger. The Tiger has a good gun, 88mm gun. Put one into the KV-1S, another bounce, put one into the VK. And I'm going to slow down this sequence here so you can see another bounce coming up, right? I'm not even angling, I was just sitting there presenting in front of the armor. Now I'm angling, another shot into him. Haven't even dropped the adrenaline. Another shot into him, try to track him. Another bounce. Put another one into the KV-1S. Another shot when he's going back. You can see the gun handling is very good. That's the muzzle velocity, the refined gun with the lower dispersion, and that DPM in action there. You see that? Bam! Straight into the KV-1S. Now, I don't want to go all fried here. Another bounce from the VK. That guy is, I'm just ruining this guy's day. Clear him off. But I think that I annoyed these guys so much that they all decide to attack me at the same time. You can see here I've got 3 front onto me, and I'm just bouncing shots. What I'm doing, I'm just reversing, trying to angle. You can see here, this is literally like a scene from the Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan against all of the Cardinal's men. Reds everywhere. I am just wreaking havoc. Bouncing shots, putting shots in on them. 4v1 situation here. But you know, I have complete faith in this tank. This is where this tank excels. You're up against your own tier, lower tiers, front on, able to angle, and you just see there, clear them off. Now the KV-1S decides to go around me. He is getting really annoyed. He's had enough of just being penned and bouncing shots. He tries to go around to the side. You can see here just how good this tank is, rolling backwards. Those shots in the Tiger, getting bounces off the turret there. This shot here on the Tiger is really nice, showing how effective the gun is in this, right into the lower plate of the Tiger. Another nice shot coming up here. It's just as I roll back, align the gun. That's what I said about the gun alignment of this tank. It's really good. Get the smallest of alignments onto the turret Tiger pulling into him. Face onto the KV-1S. He decided to come around. He's getting so frustrated. And just keep putting rounds into him. And you know, he's much faster than me, but I'm just a slow moving wall of death coming towards him. And now I have myself angled up front onto him, giving him almost nothing to aim at. He's got a long reload too, and just out DPM, a little bit of help from my allies, but I would have cleared him off anyway. And I just literally just pummeled that team with this tank. They didn't play too well as a team, but normally when 4 to 5 tanks attack a single tank in concentrate fire, you expect to clear it off, right? And I think if they had cleared me off, they probably would have won that game, because if we look at the scores, my team didn't do too much. Look at that. I did 3.789k of damage, and I blocked another 3k of damage, so over 6.5k of damage net game. That's just incredible in tier 7 tank, and that's what you can do in this tank. You can have great confidence going front line, especially if you're up tier, top tier. If you're up tiered, you need to be a bit more cautious, but playing as a support tank to other heavies, by the way, you don't have much of a choice, because you're not going to get there before them, not at 20 kilometers an hour, right? So in many ways, you are kind of forced to play the support tank role, because you're not going to get to a base or to a key point in the map in this thing before any other heavy, like a Tiger 2, IS-3, IS-5. They're going to get there before you. So support tank is your role. In this, you know, game though, it's a great illustration of the strengths of this tank. So let's have a recap of those. So, you know, this is a really effective heavy tank. It really is. The armor is just troll, and you can bounce shots all day long. Steel walls, Spartans, they're going to come your way, those badges. It's a DPM monster, 3.25 or 3.5 second reload, depending on whether you use calibrated shells or gun rammer. But it is slow, so therefore you've limited map movement, limited engagement pocket within the game. So you need to select where you go very carefully at the start of a game. 2 gun types. The top gun is important because it's a low millimeter gun, low caliber gun, so therefore get the top gun, you need that. Gun rammer may be better because of the DPM. In 171 versus 180 suggests that you're not getting a huge bang for your buck on calibrated shells, so you need a UCR. I would run black team proof pudding and team. I would use supercharged max dose velocity and 5 gun chargers to dispersion. Dispersion of this tank is really good, as we discussed during the take spec. 8 degrees of gun impression, 20 intimidation, so there's a great gun alignment in this tank, as you saw. I was moving backwards there, those shots on the Tiger, really excellent. Good power to weight ratio and good traverse means that this is an OP brawler. It really is, and it takes other tanks by surprise because they think it's slow, but when you're in a static position of brawling, it's actually quite maneuverable. To be penned in this tank, the Reds need to spend time aiming. There are no easy shots on you. One of the few tanks that are no easy shots, and that gives you a great advantage when you're brawling. Enhanced armor I would use, get more bounces. I would use engine accelerator, helps with brawling, helps with traverse, it helps with your acceleration, so I've used that. And as I said, the opening 30 seconds in this tank are key, because if you choose wrong or made a bad decision, the game can pass you by. You can either win or lose and have fired not a single round and caused not a single piece of damage. Because if you go the wrong way, all the reds go the other way and your allies go the other way, it can just pass you by. So think carefully. The opening 30 seconds, reading the setup and acting accordingly are key. Music was Ravel's Balero and the Horde from the Warcraft original soundtrack, which I hope you enjoyed. Two great pieces of music. Let's thank our sexy goth girl for the recap. And I guess I would like to say cheers, Mush. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you do play this tank, give me your feedback. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It is a great tank, but of course with the limitations that we've just discussed. So all that remains for me now to say is masks on, keep safe, and pants off.